of the things I get asked regularly is, how do you find the time to sketch? I wish I had all the time to sketch like you do, and if only I had time in my day to sketch and draw. Well, I'll let you into a secret. I don't actually spend all that much time sketching and drawing every day. I have instead figured out a way to make sketching a priority, fit it in when I want to, but to also importantly enjoy it in small amounts of time. I do believe that everyone can find enough space in their day to do some simple drawing, doodling, and sketching. You don't actually really need as much space or time as you think. So with all this in mind, I want to share some really helpful tips and tricks to help you find the time for sketching. Seriously, if I can sketch regularly, I know that you can too. Now, the very first tip that I'd like to share with you is that it's really important to reframe the time that you need for sketching. And I alluded to this in the introduction a moment ago. First of all, sketching can be a loose, rough, quick doodle or drawing in any way, shape or form. It doesn't have to be a finished piece of art in a sketchbook, and therefore a sketch can be something you can do in just a couple of minutes. And when I talk to a lot of my students about you just need 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, a lot of them give me this face of horror of, I can't do that, I can't sketch, I can't produce something in that amount of time. But let me just reassure you that you absolutely can. You can put pencil to paper and make some form of mark in just a couple of minutes. This is what I find really important, that when you reframe it as just a really playful, quick sketch, you do only need 30 seconds to a couple of minutes. So don't feel that you have to do something that is 30 minutes, 60 minutes, couple of hours long. A sketch can be something very, very, very quick and easy and fun. Now for tip number 2, I would like you to make sketching a habit. And what I mean by this is it wants to be something that you do on a regular basis every day. It's not a special occasion that you build up to once a week and you take a whole afternoon to do it. Set yourself a time and a place every day. So maybe that's with your morning coffee. You grab your coffee, you grab your sketchbook, and every day at 11 o'clock, that's when you do just your 2 minutes of sketching. There's a fabulous book called Atomic Habits by James Clear, and this talks about something called habit stacking. And essentially this means use something that you do already, whether that's brushing your teeth, having your morning cup of tea, add your sketching habit on top of this. So for example, I walk into my studio here every day with my cup of coffee. I can then put my cup of coffee down and then go straight in for a quick sketch before I touch my computer, before I film a YouTube video. I grab my sketchbook, it's all set up, and I do my little 2 minutes of sketching. Just add on a little bit of sketching and make it a habit. Now for tip number 3, and this is a really important one, I think it is really, really key to plan what you're going to sketch. And for this, what I mean is know what sketchbook you're going to be using, so have a sketchbook ready, know what materials you're going to use, maybe just have a pencil set next to your sketchbook, and then know what subject matter you're going to be sketching. So for example, I could sketch my coffee cup every morning in pencil, and I've done some form of sketching for the day. But ideally, what it's probably worth doing is creating yourself a list of maybe 3 to 4 topics that you like to sketch, or setting up a couple of different sketchbooks in different locations in your house that have different purpose. When you open the sketchbook, that fear of the blank page is real. It can be quite intimidating to know even where to start. But if you know that when you open your sketchbook and you're sat in a coffee shop and you're going to sketch a cup of coffee using a fine liner pen, it's simple, you can do that in under 5 minutes. Okay, so for tip number 4, I would like you to keep it small. And first of all, I mean a small sketchbook. It's interesting because most of the sketchbooks that I have finished over the years happen to be small ones, kind of pocket-sized, postcard-sized, small portable sketchbooks that fit in the palm of my hand. A small sketchbook page is much quicker to finish than a large sketchbook page. So if you want to sketch daily and you don't have a lot of time, then it makes sense to use a small sketchbook page. It's also worth saying that you don't have to finish or fill a whole page when you are sketching. So if your sketchbook is bigger, think about doing little thumbnails or very small drawings as part of a larger page. You can take a whole week, even 2 weeks or a month to finish a whole sketchbook spread if you want to. It's your sketchbook, but the little bit that you do every day keeps progressing you with your sketchbook habits, but you don't spend a lot of time doing it. And don't forget, a sketch doesn't have to be a sketch. And what I mean by that is just think about what sketching could mean for you. I just think this is anything put in a sketchbook. It could be drawing, but equally it could be that you do collage. It could be that you stick things in, that you make notes or list ideas. It doesn't always have to be a pencil drawing. That tends to be the thing we think of when we think about a sketch, but it doesn't have to be that. Make it what you want, but make it small. Now, there is a wonderful phrase that says, comparison is the thief of joy. And I really believe that if we spend a lot of our time looking at other people's art or scrolling on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, whatever social media platform or YouTube that you like to scroll on, it takes away from our creative time. So I challenge you to look at the amount of time that you spend looking on Instagram, scrolling at things when you're a little bit tired, and see if you can replace 5 minutes of scrolling with 5 minutes of sketching. If we can find 5 minutes in our day to do a little bit of browsing of things, we can certainly find 5 minutes in our day to replace the technology with 5 minutes of sketching, of relaxing, of getting away from technology and just enjoying a bit of me time and creativity. So let me now ask you a question. How convenient are your sketchbooks? Are they right near you when you think about doing your sketching? Or do you have to walk all the way through the house to a whole other place, open a drawer, open a cupboard, and it's quite an effort to get those sketchbooks out? So perhaps if you're sitting working at your computer, have a small sketchbook right next to you so that it's convenient and ready for sketching. And if this means placing these sketchbooks around the house, well, I give you permission. You might want to pop one by the side table on the sofa, on the kitchen or dining room table, by your bed, in your handbag, in your rucksack, in your coat pocket. Wherever you may be when the idea for I'd like to sketch now or I've seen something interesting comes up, you want a sketchbook to hand. And if that sketchbook is there and in place, you are far more likely to do a couple of minutes of sketching than if you just don't have a sketchbook on you and the moment has passed. So let's make that sketching convenient. Pop sketchbooks everywhere around your house and person. Now, back in tip number 2, I talked about trying to make sketching a habit, and I talked about habit stacking. But part of this also, and I sort of touched on this already, is about setting the bar low. And what I mean by that is just taking away that expectation that you will do a perfect, finished, beautiful artwork the first time you come to a sketchbook, and to just have no expectations of what you are going to achieve when you come to your sketchbook. It's quite a lot of pressure if you've got to come to a sketchbook and you must do something amazing and perfect. We don't want to focus on results. We want to just focus on the experience and the process. We want to enjoy the process of sketching. I find that I get far more out of my sketching and I get far more creative when I'm not filming my sketching, where I'm not doing it for a certain purpose. And I just simply sketch for enjoyment. And I choose sketching all sorts of things that I enjoy rather than worrying about the end result. So give yourself a break. Set that bar super low. Set it so low that you could just do a single line and you've done your sketch for the day. Forget about being perfect and enjoy that process of sketching. Now, for the very last tip, and this is probably my absolute favorite one, and that is fill your cup. And what I don't mean is go and get a cup of tea and do your sketching. What I mean is go and be inspired by stuff. Perhaps if, like me, you like art materials, go and browse an art materials shop. Go and see what there is to buy. This could also mean taking yourself off to see the odd exhibition or museum or gallery. Just go and see something that interests you because it will inspire you to think in a different way. You could go and attend a workshop or a course in person in your local area. There's lots of wonderful art teachers and groups and classes, and connecting with others and finding a community can really help to fill your cup and inspire you. anything that inspires you, and that could be other forms of art as well. If going to the theatre or the ballet is great, then that is fine. Filling your cup is one of the best ways to stay inspired and motivated for your creativity. All in all, sketching can be an enjoyable, convenient, and super relaxing and creative habit. It may take a little bit of time to reframe what sketching means to you, but once you start this habit, it firmly takes hold and you can build on it from there. Now, if you are looking for some ideas of things to sketch, so what to actually sketch in your sketchbooks, do check out my video, 5 things to doodle in your sketchbook. These are all small little exercises that you can do for fun and enjoyment. Happy sketching, everyone!